Roll it.
Welcome to The Point.
Hey, what is going on? It's another episode. That's right. We told you we weren't going anywhere and we meant it. And here we are, episode, I believe, 22 now. Damn, it seems like we just started the other day, man, and we just keep right on rocking and rolling. Numbers are still through the roof. Everything's going great. But how is Haystacks doing?
Hot.
Ain't no shit, huh? We were just talking about my little experiment. It's been hotter than hell. And I'm pretty damn sure I had a heat stroke. But anyway, I'll just go wash the sand out of it and pull my head out of my ass and keep right on rocking and rolling. So there's a lot of news this week again, right? A lot of news, but it's not necessarily the news we want to hear. It's kind of the old rigmarole bullshit of the sports world as the whole world seems to still be in chaos. But nonetheless, here at the point with my new setup again behind me, I think it looks pretty damn fitting considering how it's that time of the year. But it's always that time of the year here in this household. But, the world continues to burn, Haystacks. And we're just going to, same thing we always do. We throw it in the bucket, we mix it up, we throw it up in the air, and whatever sticks, sticks. So let's jump right in. One of the biggest stories this week that I believe you sent me this story was the Washington Redskins. That's right, I said it. The Washington Redskins. Woo! So you want to talk about that for a minute, or you want me to jump in on it?
Yeah, go ahead, because nothing I'm going to say on this is going to brighten anybody's day.
I implore you. I really do. But the story is that they've been talking about it for years, and we all know we this isn't anything new. But now it's getting serious because, again, when it's popular, right? When it's popular, everybody wants to talk about it. You know, it's a big deal. It's a big social justice issue. And then, of course, when it's not popular anymore, it kind of fades off. And then when there's another movement going on, then it pops back up again. Well, now the world's going to shit. We got to make a change. So here we are. So the story goes, the Redskins say, if you're ready for this, we'll conduct a thorough review of the team's name a day after their main sponsor asked them to change it. Now, let me say that again. A day after their main sponsor asked them to change it. That's right, folks. Money talks. On Thursday, FedEx, who is their main sponsor, said, we have communicated with the team in Washington to request that they change the team name. Just so you know, the company paid $205 million in 1999 for naming rights of FedEx Field, which is, of course, where they play in Landover, Maryland. In addition to the stadium name and sponsorship agreement, FedEx CEO Frederick Smith is a minority owner. So, slippery slope, Haystacks. Where does this end, man? How do you see this panning out?
In all honesty, I hope it pans out with the NFL going bust and everybody that keeps doing this cancel culture bull crap eventually goes the hell away. Didn't all these people say that they were moving to Canada like 4 years ago? But let me read you a quote for all these people that want to sit here and piss, bitch, moan, whine, and complain about how racist the Redskins are and Chief Wahoo of the Cleveland Indians are and the Kansas City Chiefs. A great man once said, I am a red man. If the Great Spirit had desired me to be a white man, he would have made me so in the first place. He put your heart in certain wishes and plans. In my heart, he put other and different desires. Each man is good in his sight. It's not necessary for eagles to be crows. That man was Sitting Bull, a Native American that plainly said in his quote, "I am a red man." It's not a racist term. My great grandfather was an Indian chief. My dad looks like a freaking Indian. My dad's dark complected, coal black hair. My grandmother, dark complected, coal black hair. They were proud of their heritage.
Right.
Get over it. It doesn't bother us.
Well, as most everybody knows, man, yeah, I was married a long time to a Native American woman, and I have a Native American daughter. So far be it for me to speak on it. I have Native American in my family, in my bloodline, but obviously, as you can see, I'm a Caucasian man. But I claim, I mean, hell, I got German in me, I got Italian in me, I've got Irish in me, I've got, I can go on and on. But this whole thing has gotten out of hand. I read a poll, and it wasn't on a conservative site. I read a poll earlier today that said that over 80% of Native Americans that took the poll had zero problem with the name Washington Redskins. This, of course, is nothing more than more leftist bullshit and elitist cancel culture. How much can we get away with? And again, call me an asshole, but you know the email address by now. Twitter, Facebook, you name it. But simply put, this is going to go away again. This has been brought up every 6 to 8 months or a year for the last decade. Okay? And I hope and pray that the owner, I believe it's still Dan Snyder, I hope and pray that they have a spine. I hope that FedEx has a change of heart. But we'll see. Because, see, like you said, Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians. How in the hell is the word Indian? How in the hell is that racist?
Well, the gripe that they had was on the original Indians' hats. They had Chief Wahoo. They had the Indian on the hat. And that's why they've changed now to the big, ugly, boring ass looking C on their hats. Because people said that the depiction of Chief Wahoo was racist. It hurt their feelings.
Yeah, well, to each their own. This too shall pass.
That whole conversation that we had last week, if anybody didn't bother to watch it, go back and watch that. And then do the same thing, just repeat it with a different race. If you're an Indian, or if you're one of these white folks that are out here trying to beg and plead for forgiveness for shit that happened 300 years ago to the Indians, go actually talk to some of the Indian folks that are, 70, 80, 90 years old. And while they're sitting in their casinos counting their oil money that they got because they bought land, the dumbass white man didn't know what the hell it was. They're going to tell you that you're a dumbass and leave it the hell alone.
Hey, you might be surprised what you hear from them. But moving along in the same vein, the next big topic I want to talk about that, again, is in the same vein. And I'm sure all of you watching have heard or seen it. And we'd love to hear your opinions. I mean, by all means, please hit us up and tell us what your opinions are. In fact, if you have an opinion that's strong enough that you feel the need, we'll be more than glad to have you as a guest on the show. In fact, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to agree with us. In fact, we would love to have ones on that don't agree with us so we can have mature adult conversations and really discuss the issues. Yeah,
What,
I know.
what was that? What was that word again?
Mature?
Give me just a second. I'm gonna get the dictionary out.
All right, cool. So, so the NBA, the No Basketball Association, has announced that players will be able to show social justice statements on the backs of their jerseys when the season restarts on July 30th in Orlando, which apparently it's going to happen for sure now. Following delays linked to the coronavirus pandemic, Fox News, of course, is reporting this. The league, among many others, the league and the NBA Players Association were in discussions to allow players to wear a social statement in place of their last name, according to a report by ESPN this past Saturday night. But I've learned today that they've not only agreed to it, they have put out a socially acceptable list of things that they can actually put on the back of their jerseys above their number. Now, you should really, I implore all of you out there in the Point Nation to go look at this list. I'm sorry. The days have gone by that instead of just being role models, we have now gotten into the let me say it this way, and then I'm gonna get your thoughts, Haystacks. When yourself and I was growing up, and we watched. Let's use him for an example, because again, he's the greatest player to ever live, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan used his influence to greatly change this world for the better, and he continues to. Okay? He's used his money, he's used his face, he's used his name, his influence, whatever you want to call it, but he's done some real good in this world. Now, I want you to picture in your head right now Michael Jordan taking the basketball court in the middle of the finals with a huge political statement on his back, and then think about what that would have done to the culture growing up. And before anybody jumps down my throat and tears my head off, I want to clarify what I just said. And I want you to really think about this. Are they playing basketball or are they playing politics?
They're not really doing either. What they're doing is they're trying to indoctrinate kids, because kids are what watch sports nowadays, to believe that this is the way that things actually work. Plus, they're trying to make up, because everybody that's a LeBron James fan, first of all, bless your hearts, seek treatment. We're sorry. But everybody that's a LeBron James fan has a LeBron James jersey. What people don't have is a LeBron James jersey with trying to about got me, didn't you? What they don't have is a LeBron James jersey with a stupid ass saying on the back spread across it. So now guess what? You can go to Champs, you can go to NBA.com, or you can go to Lakers.com, and you can buy a real live LeBron James actual replica jersey for $99.99, and we're going to donate 25 cents to the LeBron James Fund, because that really matters.
But we're not going to tell you that's how much we're donating. We're just going to tell you we're donating.
And everybody that's on their fields are going to be like,
and the same.
Yeah, you just turn around and made up every damn dime of the money that they've lost for the half of the season that they're not going to play. And then some. And then we've got a bunch of dumbasses running around a LeBron James jersey that says freaking dildos in the ass matter.
There it is. He broke, ladies and gentlemen. He broke. There it is. So, all joking aside, I mean, is not having a Kotex advertisement on his jersey enough?
Apparently not. I mean, we need to sell freaking jock straps now that says "Don't touch my no-no spot," so we can have a damn marketing campaign. Hashtag me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Hodge twins for my new favorite saying whenever I say some messed up stuff like that. And by the way, I am 100% positively unapologetic in that. And you can email us at pointiswhat@gmail.com and you can shame me all you want. And guess what? I am not going to pull a Drew Brees and come out tomorrow and say, "I'm so sorry. Please like me. I don't know what I'm talking about because I was white." Shut up.
Yeah. All right. So, getting back on point here, because this is the point after all. We both lost our shit for a minute. But I mean, you have to understand, we're not making light of real issues. It's making light of the stupid ass shit that keeps going. And again, shout out to the Haas twins. Check them out if you don't know who they are. They're Facebook, all that stuff. They're brilliant. They're very smart individuals, and they get it. But
look, man, no, we're not making light at all. We're not making light at all of the situation. But anybody that has a brain in this country right now, that you're seeing people that are tearing up their own shit, they're burning up their own shit.
Yeah.
And then you stop and you think, why are they doing this? Okay, a man was killed by a police officer. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. But then you turn around and you don't watch. I keep telling people, don't watch just CNN. You know, it's going to hurt your feels, I know. But trust me on this. Flip over to even Yahoo ran a ad on it once. I was kind of amazed. 176 people since July 3rd have been killed in the city of Chicago. A 10-year-old little girl, a 16-year-old little girl, and I believe a 17-year-old little girl, all African-American children. Where are the riots? Where is the looting? Where are people destroying the shit out of Chicago?
I feel like a couple of brave people out there in the world have, mostly conservatives, have clarified this, but I feel the need to clarify it here. I think we have in the past, but I clarify it again real quick right now. Okay. Black lives matter? Absolutely. White lives matter? Absolutely. You know, all lives matter. I know, right? But hear me out here. Black Lives Matter, the organization, is what we're clowning on. Not the phrase Black Lives Matter. See, they were real crafty, and they've said this 1,000 times around the world for anybody who actually pays attention. The organization are funding white Democrats. Look it up. It's public information. That are holding down the communities that they claim to support. I'll give you one example before, I don't want to get too political, but I'm going to give you one example. I'll get your thoughts before we move on to the next topic. Haystacks, you know exactly what I'm getting ready to say. Hillary Clinton, when she was running against Donald Trump, she was the Democratic nominee. She was out in those neighborhoods. She was doing good for the minority communities. She was out there walking with them, shoulder to shoulder, shaking hands. telling everybody how good she was going to do. The change is going to come. Where's she at now?
Oops.
Free your mind. I don't care what color you are, what your background is.
Here's the thing with the Black Lives Matter movement group, not the movement. Black Lives Matter group is worth $271.1 million. Can anybody tell me who paid for George Floyd's funeral? Floyd Mayweather.
Oops.
Can anybody tell me who sent $100 million to restructure and rebuild inner city schools in New York City and completely redo the inner city educational system in New York City with that $100 million? Your president, Donald John Trump. Oops. Meanwhile, $271 million while you're out here buying a $49.99 Black Lives Matter shirt and then bitching at Walmart because they put out a $9.99 All Lives Matter t-shirt because it's going to cut into your profits. Remember when y'all were sitting here bitching about how much money Donald Trump had? How he's such a bad guy because he's a white billionaire.
Message. So I think we made our point on that. Hey, look, use your mind. Use your mind. Do your own research. Do not follow a narrative of any kind. I don't give a damn if it's conservative, liberal. With the internet out there right now, you know, it blows my mind, Haystacks. It blows my mind. Okay? You have the whole world of knowledge right here in the palm of your hand. And instead of making yourself smarter, looking up statistics and facts, you'd rather watch a squirrel ski behind a damn remote controlled boat. You know, what are you going to do?
Today is everybody don't think for themselves. They don't. The only thing that they think about is white and black, red and blue. They see somebody like me. You know, nobody realizes, nobody cares. Once I say yes, I support for the president of the United States. They don't stop and think. They just automatically see, oh, white guy racist. He supports president. Hey, guess what, jackass? I'm a registered Democrat. I also voted for John Kerry. I also voted for Barack Obama in his first term.
Oops.
Oops.
That's a big oops.
That was a huge oops. But here's the thing, man. The problem with today is people don't want to learn. They don't want to learn. You can go outside and you can stand beside somebody and say, hey, I'm a Republican. They can say, hey, I'm a Democrat. You can say, damn, that's a pretty blue sky. They will actually stand on their freaking head just to argue that that son of a bitch is green.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten far, far and wide away from the whole able to disagree but get along. Because of these little squares that we're talking on right here, it's so easy for people to push their opinion out there in the world and shove it down everyone's throat. And it's gotten to the point to where if they put something out there and they don't get they only get 1 or 2 likes, it's like, okay, I got to push the issue a little harder. And they push it a little harder. And then they got parents that are not telling them no and giving them whatever the hell they want. And they're living, hell, I can't tell you how many kids I meet this day and time that don't even have pigment in their skin because they never go outside. Like, I'm not pigment, poor choice of words. But, I mean, they're just pale as hell. My daughter's one of them. I'll be the first one to tell you. As I said earlier, she's Native American. They're so consumed with these little squares and the internet that, they never step outside of that.
What the problem is that's their safe zone. because just like these people that are taking over these towns, you're sending them a message that nothing in life is hard. The problem is all these kids right now that are doing this have never taken one of these right here to the dome.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. I 100% get what you're saying. Reality, when it comes to reality, it's real easy to step outside of yourself and reality on the internet. But time and time again, I see it every day, all day, in all different walks of life, races, colors, creeds, whatever you name it. They step from behind that little screen, and when the world hits them, it's I can't even kind of thing. So
like a piece of paper.
right. So yeah, it is what it is. Sports show. Let's move on. Got one topic I want to cover. It's a small topic. Before we go to our only break, and come back and get hard and heavy into it. So I don't know if you know this, and it's been a rumor. As a matter of fact, it's been rumored for weeks now about WWE, the World Wrestling Entertainment. Everybody knows they purchased ECW from Paul Heyman. Everybody knows they purchased WCW back in the day from Turner, and they're this big conglomerate that's been going on for a shitty one, but it's been going on for a while. And then you've had other ones pop up, Ring of Honor, several incarnations of Impact or TNA. You got AEW, of course, which is the popular one now. You got NWA, who's made a comeback. But you also had Evolve Wrestling out there. And Vince McMahon, true to form, WWE, the rumors are true. It's come out now. The rumors have been verified that WWE has actually purchased Evolve Wrestling. Real quick, PW Insider has reported the news today, which was actually the other day, that WrestlingNews.com had confirmed the story. Evolve was used as a feeder system, for those who don't know, for the WWE developmental. And there had been talk of Evolve shows airing regularly on WWE Network after they announced the additional paid tiers, which I think is pretty shitty. But anyway, however, rumors have been swirling in recent weeks about the company having financial issues, with WWE heavily rumored to purchase them, and that purchase became effective a couple of days ago. Now, for those of you who don't know, some of the names that came from Evolve, if you're not aware of the promotion, but you're aware of these people from WWE, and you will be, Mia Yim, AR Fox, Bobby Fish, Eddie Kingston's a big one. The Young Bucks, there's a big one. You might recognize that name from AEW. Sabu, Daniel Bryan, Austin Aries, Zack Sabre, Ethan Page, Trent, Cedric Alexander. There's another one for you. And I can go on and on and on. But obviously, we all know what this really is. They purchased the rights to the tape library for promos, for promotional video packages, and so on. Other than that, there's really not a lot in it for WWE. So I'm assuming they got it for a good price, but I'm sure the details will come out down the road.
It's kind of a shame because they had some of the prettiest title belts in wrestling right now.
Agreed.
Between Evolve, Rise, and Vanguard.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, I am partial to Vanguard, and I am partial to Rise. Big time. Big time. Some of the most beautiful titles I've ever seen in my life. Old school and new school combined. It's just sexy as hell, man. Oh, wait. Can I say that now? Can you say sexy?
Just did.
Is that oh, well, goodbye, everybody. We're being canceled. I messed up. So, But all joking
I
aside,
think after my rant, if we're still going to be here, I think Sexy is going to be okay. And I said it again, but
this is YouTube. Just putting it out there.
well,
The walls are closing in, man. It's starting to get dark.
haven't got us flagged yet, and I've said some pretty messed up stuff over the last 22 weeks, so especially over the last couple of weeks.
Hey, what was it Eric Bischoff said?
Controversy sells.
Controversy creates cash. And with that, it's time for our break. See you on the flip, my man, Haystacks. Hold those thoughts. Keep those gears going. I see the smoke coming. I know the second half's going to be even hotter than the first. Be back in just a minute.
Join us next week for another action-packed episode of The Point.
Hey everybody, welcome back from the break. I'm still trying to get my shit together. Okay. Whew. Anyway, welcome back from the break. The point is still coming at you hard and heavy. If you saw the first half, it's hard and heavy. So let's jump right.
Things.
Hey, man, that's why we love you, man. Giving it to them real. So jumping right back into this, Texas A&M's run into some issues, to say the least. They've been penalized by the NCAA for recruiting violations, more namely Jimbo Fisher. So let me just give you some background here, what's going on. Texas A&M football has been found to violate the NCAA recruiting and countable athletically related activity rules. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. The NCAA announced this past Thursday, according to their release, the violations occurred between January 2018 and February 2019, so a little over a year. According to an agreement released by the Division I Committee on Infractions. According to release, Texas A&M coach Jimbo Fisher, simply referenced to as the head coach, a football coach, in the release, it basically said, without going and reading every word of this, he basically had inappropriate contact with high school athletes just prior to their eligibility to have that contact. So is this a mega huge over-the-top issue violation? No, but he should have known better, and so should have the organization.
It's stupid.
You look at one hand, you look at some of the shit that people get away with, right? We just talked about it in the first half. But then you look at, on the other hand, it's like it's in the rule of law, or the land of rules. You have can do's and can't do's. And you at some points you got to have some kind of accountability. I mean, if you're a head coach of a college football organization, you have to know what is appropriate and what isn't. Now, on that same vein, well, on the flip side of that coin, how many people have done it and not been caught?
Oh, when you've got every single player at the University of Alabama rolling around in Dodge Chargers and, $40,000-$50,000 vehicles, and their mom is the cashier at the local Piggly Wiggly, and their old man is a trash truck driver. That's the kind of stuff I have a problem with. Not going and not having a conversation about a scholarship with a kid that's 7 days from eligibility. Maybe I have my priorities mixed up. But
No, I get you. I understand where you're coming from. But, at what point is one worse than the other? Or is it? But, we know those cars ain't coming from the bookstore.
Right. I'm pretty sure, if so, then I need to get on a Piggly Wiggly because they have one hell of a damn shareholders bonus program.
Right. So let's see. Well, here we go again.
Oh, come on.
We're jumping back into it. If you're scared, say you're scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So NASCAR's ratings continue to plummet after the news scenario with Bubba Wallace. Now, I don't know if you heard, but most of you out there know Bubba Wallace, the whole scenario with the news. I'm not going to get back into it. We've already covered it. It is what it is. But now there's apparently he has the Black Lives Matter car, and now apparently there's a Trump car. So just to clarify again, for all those out there that can't form their own opinions, Bubba Wallace news incident turns out to be a hoax, not real, whatever you want to call it. They lose a shit ton of sponsors, and now there's a Trump car. Coincidence?
All I'm going to say is, don't you gotta love? Don't you gotta love real equality? Everybody wants everything equal, right? We're there. We're there. So all
Yes,
of you
we are.
that are sitting here saying, I don't want my sports to be political now that Trump is on a car, piss up a rope. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to.
Hey,
I am not going to jump down the rabbit hole of a certain individual at a racetrack that sold a certain item that got himself in trouble.
hey, right here, man. Right here. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. Go for
Piss up a bubble rope.
it. Okay. All right, so there's your equality in the world of NASCAR, but we all know the world of NASCAR is a very shitty one as of late. So moving along, so we talked about the college athletes and how they were going to be allowed to be paid and to be social influencers and all this crap, right? Well, senators this past week have finally got together and they discussed an actual system for paying college athletes. Now, you may ask, what is there to talk about? What system is there? Well, just like anything else, there has to be some kind of regulations and committees and all this good stuff put together. So yeah, college athletes will soon be able to make money off their name, if you didn't know, their image, their likeness, and all that good stuff after the NCAA signal earlier this year that it was open to athletes making money from only endorsements, of course. Now Congress wants to make sure that there's one system and one only in place to keep things as fair as humanly possible, because that's what we live in now, fair, as more states are passing laws to regulate how college athletes can make money while at school. The biggest quote that I took away from the whole story, excuse me, and what is going on with all of this here recently is from Mr. Sankey, who's, one of the guys involved in all this. He said, we must not allow college athletics to devolve into a pay-for-play system. I think that goes without saying. Endorsements, yes, but the minute they start actually openly getting paid to play sports, nah, I'm not down with that.
No, and like I think I said when we first broke this whole story, if they're getting paid to play a game, athletic scholarship should be completely disbanded.
For those making money.
Right. turn those athletic scholarships into educational scholarships. You know, here's the situation, man. You got a kid that's going to the Ohio State University. You know, they're right here local. I hate them, screw them, but, you know, get the point. If I'm not mistaken, for a year, it's pretty daggone close to about $100,000 a year to attend the Ohio State University. You got a kid that's going to go be a brain surgeon. He's going and, you know, working sometimes 1-2 jobs to be able to afford his dorm. Plus, he's going $100,000 a year in the hole for up to 8 years to get this education to be able to go and better or save somebody's life.
Right.
So not only is he paying for his education and going in debt for his education, but he's having to work 1 to 2 jobs to be able to eat and live, not in his car. He's not getting paid.
True story. True story. That's kind of my point of what I was talking about a minute ago. I mean, and I like your idea. I like that idea. We've covered this before, but that's most definitely. They need to find a way to regulate this whole thing. If they're going to be making money, I think we're kind of beating the dead horse a little bit, but if they can find a way to navigate who is going to be getting paid and who isn't. I mean, let's face it. You don't really know who the most popular people are going to be until they're there and they're established and they start doing their thing. And at that point, they start making money. At that point, they need to be given a notice of some kind saying, all right, now you're making money. For every dime that you make or a percentage of what you make from endorsements, a percentage of that needs to be taken away from that particular scholarship. I won't necessarily say all of it because they earned it, part of that endorsement. But say 80% of that, that scholarship money for that particular time frame, that semester, that year, something similar to that. But it's going to take a lot of thought. A lot of people are a hell of a lot smarter than me crunching those numbers.
I mean, it's pretty easy, actually. I just gave a perfect example. If there's a kid that's working 2 jobs to be able to afford his room and board and his food, and then he's going in debt for his education, well, okay, if you're making $150,000 a year off of your likeness, okay. So what the university will do is we'll pay for your room and board and your books. You're paying for your education, your tuition. You're paying for the $100 and some $1,000, and we'll give you the $30,000 or $40,000 for room and board.
Right. Sounds like a plan to me. Definitely. But moving along, something happened this week that, man, I think it's going to shake up. I want to see how this plays out. Let me go ahead and spit it out here. In the pro wrestling world, right? So you automatically know we're not talking about WWE because we're talking about pro wrestling. So let me just go ahead and say this. Cody, Arn Anderson, and Conrad Thompson applied for some very intriguing trademarks this past week. Now, me personally, when I heard this, when I read it, you sent me this, and when I read this, man, it took me back because I want to see how WWE responds to this and if they can respond to this because, as we know, once I say what this is, everybody will understand what I'm talking about. So, sure to get people talking, tongues a wagging. Conrad Thompson, who probably almost caused Vince McMahon to have a breakdown when he booked The Undertaker for Star, is in the news again after filing for the trademark Four Horsemen. Yeah, I know. Oh, shit. Matter of fact, he did this. It was not. He did it March 10th. Perhaps surprisingly, WWE does not currently own the trademark name Four Horsemen. I was shocked by that, Haystacks.
I'm
I was,
actually kind of amazed that that old Slick Rick or one of those guys don't have that.
well, to be fair, I don't know if they do or if they did and it expired. Um, of course, this is a legendary faction we're talking about here, man. We're talking about this reaches back to NWA, man, before it kind of sort of merged over to Ted Turner and WCW, man, World Championship Wrestling. The faction, of course, originally it's made up. It's got several members, but originally, Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and various other people over the years. Thompson, via his business, Toot Toot, can't make this shit up. They applied for the use of the term, and let me specify and clarify here. They didn't just try to trademark or file for the trademark for Horsemen for hoodies and T-shirts and other merchandise or even shows. They filed for the trademark for wrestlers, professional wrestling entertainers to use this name.
Right.
So as of now, it appears we are going to see some version of the Four Horsemen in AEW. Now, what do you think? Do you like that idea or no?
Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm actually pulling up the link that I sent you, I believe, yesterday. Because they've already lost one of these because Cody Rhodes also applied for a trademark for his name back, Cody Rhodes.
I did see that, yes.
And WWE re-trademarked his name.
Right.
So this broke on July 4th, which I believe was yesterday.
Saturday.
So he attempted to trademark the name Cody Rhodes back in April, but the U.S. Patent Department issued an initial refusal due to trademark being too similar to WWE's trademark. Originally, WWE's registration for the trademark was set to expire on August 13th, but it was renewed on May 15th, and COVID-19 was given for the delay. It's been a hot topic, blah, blah, blah.
Right. So you get the gist. WWE is fighting back on some of this stuff. Now, do you think WWE is going to bite back or jab back on this Four Horsemen thing?
Oh, absolutely.
I fully expect them to as well.
Absolutely. Because they're not going to lose all that marketing and all that money.
Now, and I don't blame them. I mean, I don't blame them for fighting, if they decide to fight for it. But the thing about it is they don't own the trademark currently. So I don't know that they'll have much of an argument when it comes to the Four Horsemen name. Now I know Arn Anderson applied for his. I didn't hear, you may have spoke on that. I didn't hear if he actually got his or not. But they'd have another hell of an uphill battle going after that name because he was using that name back in NWA and God knows how many other promotions. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But more interestingly, it's more interesting. It's going to see. You know what the hell I'm trying to say? Yeah, I can't talk. I can't get the words off my damn tongue, man. Yeah, that's right. I'm not perfect. Sue me. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Four Horsemen ordeal, especially with, I think at its core, Cody is a fan, man. He grew up just like we did. We're watching NWA and WCW and his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He grew up watching him. His brother, Dustin, I think we're going to see something similar to that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if WWE just assumed that WCW had the trademark, and when they purchased WCW, that all came along. Honestly, I hope Cody gets it, man, because it's going to do two things. There's nothing, if Cody gets this trademark, nothing bad can come out of it, and only good. Number one, it's going to revitalize the Four Horsemen. It's going to give an interesting situation. He's already got Arn Anderson on the payroll. I'm pretty sure with a Legends contract, Ric Flair could make an appearance. So they could do a passing of the torch type angle. They could do a war type angle. But at the same time, this also would strike a blow to Vince, and it would be that pissant company. I didn't say it. Another guy did. This could be the real yeah, see? Revitalization, big word there. I'm a dumb hillbilly. Get off me. Or, the old-fashioned Monday Night Wars.
Hey,
which is
man.
what we freaking need, man, because honestly, with all this coronavirus crap, WWE, you suck. You need somebody to kind of give you some competition to get you to think outside the box.
I'm not going to lie, they got a long way to go before they get to that point. But you have to understand, I mean, for the people out there, AEW is going to build that fan base over the next couple of years. They're going to get better. More people are going to start jumping ship. Better benefits, better money, this, that, and the other, better schedule, creative control. You've heard it all before, blah, blah, blah. However, they got a long damn way to go because WWE has a lot of mindless drones just following it because that seems to be the only national option because a lot of people aren't aware that NWA is back in full effect. A lot of people ain't aware that Impact even still exists. Ring of Honor. I mean, hell, if you don't have a local TV or whatever, most times you don't see Ring of Honor. These places, organizations like Impact and Ring of Honor, they're on these obscure channels, man. NWA, they're on these obscure channels because they don't have and that's something I don't think people realize. And like these big, every so often you'll see a story with WWE and Vince McMahon working a deal with USA Network, or working a deal with TNN, or working a deal with back when they were, or any of these major Fox. The biggest one lately was Fox. The reason they're so crucial and there's so much money involved is because of that very fact. Because without those contracts, without that nationwide, in your face, every package you buy to watch television, whether it's streaming, a satellite, cable, whatever, you have that channel. And that's why it's such a big deal. And of course, the product has to work on that channel, on that network, on that that platform. But I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled on this one, man. I want to see how it works because you're right. We do need the Monday Night Wars or something similar to it. Now I know we have AEW, NXT. I don't watch NXT. I haven't watched the shit in I don't know how long because, honest to God, when you got a Monday night Raw that's 3 hours long, you got a SmackDown that's 2 or 3 hours long, and you got the WWE Network, which, let's be honest, they ain't updating the shit fast enough. I don't know how in the hell it's even still up, but it's just we need something. We need that, but I think AEW is that or will be that. I just think they got a damn hell of an uphill battle.
The problem that I have with NXT is they've got all the really good young talent that they're holding back to keep the idiots like John Cena in the spotlight on Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
Send Cena to NXT for all of those people that want to see the freaking Fruity Pebble and let them search for him. Give me Tommaso Ciampa.
Hell yeah.
Give me Adam Cole. Give me these guys that are actually entertaining. You know, we want to see these matches. Don't do us like you did with Undertaker and freaking Sting. Give us freaking Ciampa versus damn I can't
Gargano.
remember the damn guy's name. You know,
Johnny
give
Gargano.
give us freaking Adam Cole, versus John Morrison, for crying out loud.
Hey, here's some food for thought. Asuka was excellent in NXT. Oh my God. That's where every eye in the, well, other than her overseas stuff back home. NXT was Asuka's playground, man. She was a beast. Tommaso Ciampa, same thing. Same thing. I'm scared to damn death to see Tommaso Ciampa on Monday Night Raw. It scares the shit out of me because I love some Tommaso Ciampa. So him and Gargano's matches were some of the most epic shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm scared to damn death for both of them to get called up. Because how many people have we seen over the years get called up to the main roster just to get shit on? Asuka's a perfect example.
If you start replacing some of them with some of these old timers, there's less likely of a chance that's going to happen. You're going to need that talent to survive, and that's going to force creative to give them better angles. I mean, look, was the Edge Randy Orton match cool as hell? Absolutely. I will not complain one bit. Edge had his career cut way short. He deserved that match. He deserved to come back the way that he did, to perform the way that he did. But would I rather have seen that match with Tommaso Ciampa versus Eric Young, those two crazy bastards? You're damn right I would. Because they would have been able to go a lot longer, do a lot crazier stuff. And it would have been their moment. It would have been their rising moment to actually take their place on the main roster.
Right. Well, I think we're running short on time. Got to wrap it up here, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think CM Punk said it the best. Yeah, I know, CM Punk. Hadn't heard that name in a while, have you? Because if you didn't know, WWE Backstage on Fox got canceled. So where does CM Punk go from here? I don't know. But what he said it best. An infamous pipe bomb. And it's a shame. Vince McMahon is not unlike Ric Flair or any of these other legendary people in the pro wrestling business. And let's not bullshit. Vince McMahon is legendary in the pro wrestling business. He took what his father gave him and he took it to friggin' way beyond his wildest dreams. Now, we also know as wrestling fans, he's not the best at making decisions when it comes to on screen. And CM Punk, when he said in that pipe bomb, simply put, was, well, WWE's not going to be any better until, well, the polite version, till Vince McMahon's not there anymore. But he also said that he didn't think it'd be any better with his doofus son-in-law running the show either. But he would obviously be mistaken because NXT was his baby, is his baby, and look at it. I haven't watched it in a while, but I keep up with it. Those Ciampa Gargano matches. Watch them.
I think that he would do okay. My personal preference would be I would like to see Shane run it. Myself, that's just me. The problem with Vince is Vince. It's weird, man. Vince, it seems like he's like starting to slowly deteriorate and fall into this current generation to where I got to have it now. I got to have it now. You know,
Yeah.
He put Bischoff and Heyman in charge. The first episode that they took over, freaking insane. And then Vince slowly starts creeping back in. Next thing you know, here's Heyman fired.
Yep.
Because he was giving guys a push that Vince didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got some of the best ratings that you've had in years, but because you don't like somebody, let's fire the guy. That's the kind of bonehead business decisions that don't work.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. We all know that you can't pull that kind of shit, man. It's no different than any other profession. It's the same thing. If you're gonna have something, you're gonna change something, you have to let it change. And the problem is when you have something that you have so much invested in, it's really hard to do that, especially when it's in the public eye. So I get it. You know, it's a publicly traded company now. You can't bullshit. You don't have time for bullshit. So anyway, time is up. Haystacks. Man, another kick-ass show. It may be the best one yet. Hell, I think it is. It's always a pleasure. Man, I had a blast. It's late, as always. We got to get in where we fit in. But I do believe well, I'm not saying anything else because I'm going to let you say it all. The floor is yours. And ladies and gentlemen, we've enjoyed it. Thank you for staying tuned. Make sure you come back next week for episode, I believe, 23. But for right now, it's time for Haystacks to drop the point. And you know I got to say it, on that ass.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up.
Yeah.
Just remember, pointiswhat@gmail.com, because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a few of you that are going to need that power washer to get the sand out of yonder.
I think they will be all right. Again, shout out to the Hodge twins. Go check them out, but not before you check out the point. Pound the subscribe button. Share the hell out of the links. Comment, like, tell us to go to hell. Whatever you want to tell us to do, hit us up. You'll see it here in just a minute on the point when Haystacks drops it. You're going to see the Twitter. You're going to see you see, I'm old, so I put the in front of everything, but you get it. You're picking up what I'm putting down, but it's time for me to get the hell out of here, Haystacks. Lay some knowledge on that ass. Until next time.
The double deuce, 22 weeks. And we're still here rocking and rolling. The point of this week is going to be a little bit educational, I think. It's probably going to irritate some folks. I really don't care. Because as you can see, here on the point, if it's there to be said, odds are I'm going to say it. So the point of this week is the same as every other point. Whether you like it or not, we don't care. Donald Trump is your president. We 100% back the blue on this show. And we unequivocally, unapologetically are against any form of racism, hatred, stupidity, and nonsense. Novel concept. You can kind of be on both sides of the fence, right? That's what being an adult's all about. You don't just jump on a bandwagon. You don't jump behind a hashtag just because it makes you look cool. Use your damn head. You think. I know. Tough thing to do, right? We will continue to support the men and women of this country, police officers, fire, EMS. We will continue to support the President of the United States. We will also continue to have fun. Even if you don't see it as fun, believe me, you saw us laughing. It's pretty damn fun. You want to come in and join in the fun? You want to come in and have an adult discussion that might be against our point of view? Hit us up. pointiswhat@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to have you on. And it's not going to be one of these Don Lemon, we're going to talk over you things. Think about it. It could be a whole lot of fun. Somebody might learn something. Until next week.
Thank you for watching The Point.
Goodbye, cruel world.